Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome for another BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by one of the official sponsors of the BKFC, Dr. Jere. How you doing, sir, with Rasha?
What's up, Gator?
I like you said, I'm nervous. I'm stuttering. I'm not saying my words. Like, you're a celebrity. I see you all these places. All these famous fighters talk about how you've changed their lives, and I had to talk to you.
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
I want to bring up Spain because all I've heard from everybody that was there was Rasha throws the best party. Like, was that the plan? Hey, we're gonna go to Spain. I want to show out and I want to make everybody else jealous who didn't get to go to this house party.
No, no, man. Our intention, when I spoke to David Feldman, I was like, hey, look, we're gonna throw a Rasha slash BKFC event. Would you make sure you come and invite all the staff? And he was like, yeah, sure, we'll come and we'll attend. And we wanted to show out, right? We wanted to show David and BKFC that aligning with Rasha is a good thing. So we rented that villa and wait till our next event.
Yeah, I was curious if Dubai or Italy is going to up that ante or not. But don't waste it. I want to see it. I want to picture what was going to happen. But how
All
often do you
right.
get to fights? Do you? I mean, it seems like you really enjoy the bare knuckle. How often do you get to go to fights?
I attempt to go as much as I can, to be honest. I do enjoy that aspect of it. Obviously, or we would not have partnered with BKFC or even sponsored certain athletes. So my brother, my partner, John, and I, we try to get to as many fights as we can.
How did you come to get to BKFC? Did Rasha approach BKFC? Did BKFC approach you?
No, no, no. It was actually, we actually were introduced to Jules Gray of BKFC and Christine Ferreira, the 125-pound goat, right? So we were introduced to them about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. And we introduced the technology to Jules and Christine, and they experienced it, right? Because it's all about experiencing our tech. So after that, it was just a very even even flow, right? So
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Christine Misfit Ferreira. So she sent me some stuff to ask you about. She said she would like to know what's it like watching a fighter cut weight?
Oh man, champ. Because she knows that, like, when I first obviously met Christine and I was introduced to BKFC, I wasn't exposed, Gator, to the weight cutting, right?
Sure.
And my first experience was watching Christine cut her weight when she fought the second Beck Rollins fight, right? And I got to tell you, I'm looking at her and I'm like, this is a form of like craziness, insanity, what they go through, right? To lose weight and then put the weight back on. I'm like, this is insane. And I was just like shocked. I was it was a little traumatic, but I got used to it.
Christine is notorious for being absolutely miserable to be around why she's cutting weight, and then she's sweet again once she makes weight. But Jules has told me that she yelled at her and called her the ice rat. We've talked to Arnold Adams. He said that it's terrifying to be around her when she's cutting weight. So it sounds like you had pretty much the same experience.
It's just when you're putting yourself through that, which I call torture, self torture, you're not going to be the normal person. I can tell you that. And I don't blame her for being the way she is.
Okay, now to give you a compliment, Christine said you're such a great support. You're so smart. But she says the thing that she loves most is the Rasha. Actually, the Rasha thing has brought my heart rate down, and it helps make it easier to cut weight and maintain weight. Going into fights.
Yeah, when I was watching her for the first time cut weight, we monitor her heart rate, like, on the minute, like Jules really has it down to a science. So, watching her resting heart rate, be as low as it was, when she when she's in a sauna. It was pretty impressive actually to see that,
Is
even for
she the
myself.
is she the most intense athlete you've ever been around?
1000%.
Yeah, there's nothing like her. She's just so intense. But I mean that's why she's the goat. And it's kind of crazy. So many people want to say, oh, she's the woman's goat. I think if you were to make a Mount Rushmore of BKFC fighters right now, she's up there with the men. She's one of the four people that you put on the wall.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have to agree with you on that. And she's. I mean, look, we're around professional fighters and athletes all day long, right? Especially where we do our strength and conditioning in Vegas, and I can tell you, there's no one like her. So.
Okay, you yourself are a martial artist, and like, did you ever have aspirations of being a fighter, or do you like more of the discipline, the discipline side of the martial arts?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a more of a Krav Maga practitioner, so every day is I got to be ready to defend myself and my family. So I never wanted to be a fighter, like as in bare knuckle or MMA. Rather, I have to like be able to show up and protect myself against multiple attackers. Like I'm talking 5 to 10 easily. So that's my mindset. Always be ready.
Were you one of those that started martial arts as a kid? Did you come upon it later? Like, when did you get into martial arts, and when did you know that was the direction you wanted to take your life?
I actually started it with my son, right? And we started it together as part of his recovery, and I just stayed with it, right? And I really enjoyed the aspect of being ready to going into a crowd and not worrying about if it's a group of gangbangers or whatever, right? I have to be ready.
I know at one point last year I saw that Christine was actually helping you train. You did like a really big like, was it a belt ceremony? Like, what was she helping you train for, and what was the significance of that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you now. Like, sorry. Uh, let me say it again. I know Christine was
Mm.
helping you last year train for a really big event. Oh, you're frozen. Oh, you're frozen on my screen.
Gator,
Yeah, I can hear you. You're frozen though on mine.
how about now?
There you are. Hey, welcome back. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, to train alongside of Christine and to see her dedication and intensity, that prompted me to have her train me and prepare me for my second degree um, black belt in Krav Maga. Okay, because it's like it's like no other form of testing. It is like you have to be you're fighting multiple guys, you're doing weapons defense, knives, guns, bats. So Christine is the first choice I had of obviously to help prepare me. So she prepared me, she tested me alongside of other professionals, and yeah, that's what it was about.
Can you tell us about the combat sport? It's Bud 12. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's a combination of Krav Maga and Keysi, Keysi, which is a Spanish form of Krav Maga, and it's more street. And I combine the two, and I teach women self defense, children self defense. But I'm teaching people how not to get let's say if they're surrounded by 5 to 10 attackers, you better be able to take care of business and go home at night. So that's what I'm teaching them, weapons defense and multiple attacker situations, situational awareness.
My wife works in corrections, and like I constantly try to say, like, we need to teach you stuff. You need to learn how to do self-defense. How important is it for women and children to be able to protect themselves and get away?
Oh, I mean, with the with the sex trafficking of children and women, right? And you better, especially, I have friends that work at correction facilities in California, And these are men, these are grown men, and they I've trained with them, and I think it's very important for children and women to be able to, not just defend, right? Self-defense is one thing, Gator.
Sure.
It's offensive, right? Because the best defense is a calculated, precise offense. So,
Okay, I run the Reddit. We do a live chat for every BKFC. Every time they say BKFC brought to you by Rasha, we always get a new person. They come in, they go, Russia, what does Russia have to do with it? And I have to try to explain to them Rasha. Can you tell us what Rasha does and what it stands for?
yeah, so Rasha, the word Rasha really is an acronym for reciprocal antenna scalar harmonization activation. Okay, big science words, but really Rasha has to do with really unlocking the true potential of that person, whether you're a fighter, whether you're an athlete, whether you're an executive CEO, whether you're a house mom or a homemaker. The Rasha is a very specific sound frequency technology that literally allows you to unlock your true potential.
So, I mean, this is great to know because, like, a lot of times you think, like, oh, it's designed for fighters and stuff. It sounds like this is literally for anybody out there.
It is. And the reason why I started to move into the combat sports uh, industries, because I've already proved our technology and how it works on autistic children and children with special needs, right? So
Okay.
we've proved that. So I wanted to prove that our technology, can actually help prevent traumatic brain injury, concussions, et cetera, and also help fighters focus in and materialize and manifest what they want to achieve, right? Winning that fight, winning a belt. So, I couldn't think of anything better than to move into the combat sports arena.
You surround yourself with champions. So I got a question here from Austin Trout, but I just want to say, like, I mean, Christine Faria, she doesn't fuck with bums. You know what I mean? Like, she's legit. She wouldn't support you and say so many good things if she didn't believe it. Austin Trout, the exact same way. I talked to him. I know he wouldn't say such great things, and he said it's absolutely helped him. He trains better, and he's a big supporter of everything you have. He would like to know if you could tell us about materialization, manifestation, your handheld device.
You mean are you talking about the headphones?
Maybe he said you have like a handheld or something that like portable, like something small that you could use.
Yeah, actually, it's around here somewhere. I can't remember. I had it, but I should have brought it here. But anyway, yeah. So I've created a portable version of the Rasha, right? Which uh, Champ Austin uses, and so does Christine. So it is a techno. It's like a. I should really actually get it. Hold on
If
one
you want to
second.
grab it, yep, please go ahead.
Yep. So this is a model. See, we have the coils inside, and we have our proprietary technology built inside, and
Okay.
it doesn't emit any harmful radiation, right? So, um, wait, what was the question again from
Uh,
Champ?
Austin said, ask him about materialization slash manifestation handheld device.
Right. So, you know, it's one thing to manifest something, right? People talk about manifestation. They want to manifest this, they want to manifest a better life. But manifestation, Gator, really just simply means setting your intention. Manifestation, setting the intention, doesn't mean that you're able to actually materialize this physical object. So when I talk about manifestation and materialization, let's take money, for example, right?
Okay.
Really, no one has $1 billion in their bank account, right?
Sure.
They have a digital, let's say, currency that tells you on your online banking, or you go to the bank, that you have X amount of, digital numbers in your account. But really, no one has $1 billion. So I always wondered, okay, so how can I materialize let's say money that you need to buy food, to buy a house, to buy this, to buy that. So I started working on specific sound frequencies, right? That actually help an individual not just set your intention, right? Whether you want to be a world champion, or you want $1 million in your account, you want a better love life. But I created these base 12 frequencies to materialize this, or whatever, something physical.
Sure.
Now, it may seem like science fiction, but I'm telling you, truth is stranger than fiction. I can tell you that right now. And I've been working a lot because of what happened to me 25 years ago. My near death experience propelled me to figure certain things out when it comes to sound frequency and things of that nature.
If it's not true traumatic, like what happened with your near death? Can you tell us or
Yeah, I mean, I OD'd, right?
okay.
I OD'd on a 24-hour drug bender because I just didn't want to be in my body anymore. I didn't know how to handle, early on in my childhood, I came from sexual abuse, physical abuse, et cetera, at the hands of, let's just say, male priests, right?
Okay.
So I didn't know how to handle that. So I spent most of my life, you know, just, let's say, conquering every addiction that anyone could ever imagine. Until one day, September 10th of 2000, I succeeded in having an OD. My heart stopped. I had a heart attack and I died. I was dead for about 4.5 minutes. And
Wow.
that experience, really propelled me into, you know, where I am today, and the technology that I created, because I wasn't a physicist. I wasn't a doctor of quantum physics. I didn't know anything about base 12 mathematics before my death. So yeah, that's what happened. And that's where we are today.
What's it like getting a second chance at life? I mean, I feel like you completely turned your life around and you're doing everything good. You got a second chance. That's crazy. Do you have I've talked to people that were in comas and said like, "Oh, I could hear everybody talking to me and like I could, I just couldn't talk to them." Did you have like an out of body experience or anything like that or
Yes, yes. I popped, like, my awareness, my consciousness, whatever you want to call it, the soul popped out of my head right here. So I'm looking down at my slumped body, as my lifeless body slumped over, and I was about 2 to 3 feet hovering above my head. So I had an outer body experience, and I'm looking at my body, Gator, although I have 360-degree awareness around me. The moment I asked this question, well, who am I? Because my body's slumped over 2 to 3 feet below me. Well, who am I? The moment I asked that question, I was like uploaded, like to the cloud, to God, whatever you want to label the divine. I was
okay?
uploaded like software, like you want to do like an upgrade on your phone or your
Sure.
computer. I was I was just upgraded to what I call the cloud, or God. And it was in there that I actually started to understand life as we know it to be, right? The questions about existence, right? Energy, who are we? What's our true nature? Why do we die? Things of that nature.
So you were dead for 4 minutes. Did it seem like a lot longer when you were hovering above your body or was it over like in a fraction of a second?
Now, time does not exist. So when I was out of my body, it felt like an eternity.
That's
So
so wow. You have a
yeah,
lot of very interesting tattoos. Can you tell us? I mean, they seem, sign that either spiritual or martial artists. Can you tell us about some of your tattoos?
well, these two are chevrons, my black chevrons that denote my second degree black belt in Krav Maga. So it's
Okay,
more military. These are, uh, we call them DNA 12 fire letters. It looks like, they look like Hebrew letters, but they're really based on DNA and our 12 strand capability. And
Okay.
yeah, I just have base 12. I have base 12, tattoos, things of that nature.
Awesome. Okay, Austin Trout sent another question. He said, "My real question that I have for you is how the heck did you make all your money? Did Rasha Technology help make that happen?"
That's a great question. I want to say that, you know, and I'll be very honest with you, you know, money, I never really worried too much about like, oh, how am I going to make money or how am I going to make money? And the reason why is because it's an illusion, right? So
Sure.
I only materialize what I need. So after my near death experience, it was a lot easier, right, to utilize energy and consciousness and create that, let's say, digital currency, right? But when I started to roll out and introduce the Rasha, the Rasha technology absolutely was a pivotal, let's say, big part of the abundance that I have created in this life, for sure.
Again, I focus on, Christine and Austin say the Rasha is life changing. I can't lie. When I told some people I was going to interview you, they're like, "Oh, it's all voodoo mumbo jumbo." How do you deal with the naysayers? I mean, you just don't give a damn, or I mean, are you one of those guys that would love the chance to prove those people wrong?
Look, man, I mean, they have every right to, be naysayers because they've never experienced the technology, right? So, that's fine. There's a lot of people both my parents, who are medical doctors, by the way, were my biggest skeptics. I got skeptics from the military, scientists from NASA. I mean, they all were skeptics until they actually experienced our technology. So I'm cool with a lot of naysayers, you know, I'm good.
If someone wanted to try Rasha, I mean, is the only way to go to Vegas, or do you do like trade shows, or like, how would someone? What's the best way for someone who is curious about it to find out more?
Yeah, I mean, you can reach out to me, or you can email me, go to our Instagram, just reach out, and we'll figure out where you live and get you to the nearest, technology, Rasha technology. I mean, Vegas is our flagship, right, headquarters, but
Sure.
we have Rashas all around the world. I mean, very, successful, influential people have and own our technology. And believe me, for all you skeptics out there and naysayers, if these ultra high net worth individuals didn't get anything out of our technology, or they thought the technology wouldn't work or didn't work, they would have crucified me by now. So we've been around for 10 years. So just saying.
The Rasha pods look absolutely amazing. Is it significantly different than the handheld you showed, or is it all about the same?
Yeah, well, the dome, the Rasha dome itself, right, was designed to keep out, a lot of interference, electromagnetic interference, right? So it's a much more powerful experience than these headphones. But these headphones still obviously work, right? And it's all a matter of how fast you can relax because everyone is stressed out these days. Our technology was designed to help whether it's a homemaker, an athlete, an executive, to simply de-stress and relax. That's all our technology does. So
Okay, and then Austin sent one last question. He said, "What does the future look like for Rasha? Best case scenario."
yeah, I mean the future looks bright, right? Our partnership and sponsorship with BKFC is taking us to heights, right, that we probably would have took a long time to get to, right? We're not just only going to stay in the combat sports sector. We're going to move into other sports verticals, right? Football, tennis, golf, right? Rugby, and then we're going to move into agriculture. We're going to move into, let's say, self-help and addiction, right? So
Sure.
there's many applications of our technology that we are going to move into in the next few years. So the future looks very amazing.
One of my favorite thing about both the champs too is like when you go to an event, they're very approachable. They want to meet the fans. If you're at an event, do you want BKFC fans and people who are quite curious about stuff to come talk to you, or you're an approachable guy, right?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'm no one. I'm a fan, right? First and foremost, I'm a fan of the sport, and I'm a fan of the fans, right? Because without the fans, there would be no BKSC, right?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite venue that you went to for Fight Wise so far?
Philly, Wells Fargo, by far was the ultimate, right? Because of the attendance, the crowd, right? The energy, right? The energy was insane, right? And probably second would be Marbella.
Yeah. I was curious if Marbella was going to be on there. And it sounds like, again, it sounds like Dubai is going to be crazy. It sounds like Italy is going to be crazy. Some of these fights some of the fights that I'm hearing about, we can't talk about, but I mean, they're going to be legit some of the best fights out there, the best of the best. What do you, it seems like BKFC is well on its way to being, the top promotion out there for Fight Wise. Do you see it just like continuing to skyrocket? Do you see it plateauing for a little bit and it'll take another hurdle before we keep going up? Like what do you see BKFC wise?
Well, I mean, I don't see anything. I don't see any competition for it. First and foremost, not even UFC, right? Because UFC, respectfully to UFC and Dana, you know, they've gotten to a point where it's boring.
Sure.
Sorry, it's boring. And you know, BKFC is the modern gladiator. That's what it's all about, and people dig it, man. People, and I don't see it having any, obstacles. I think it's the only way to go with BKFC is up.
How excited will you be when you guys finally get to do a Vegas show? And it'll be like a homecoming show for you. You're based out of Vegas and it'll be huge, right?
Absolutely. I mean, when we get approved here in Nevada, I mean, it's going to be, it is going to be something. That's for sure.
We could do like you could do the Sphere and you could do a Rasha thing. That's like a giant dome, Rasha dome, right? So
Correct. Yeah. No. We'll have something when we get approved for when BKFC gets approved for Nevada. We'll have a big Rasha, dome event for sure for fight fans, for the fighters. It'll be a good thing.
okay, and then my last question I always ask people the first time I interview them: do you remember? I don't know if you fought much when you were a kid, but do you remember the first time you got in a street fight? A grade school fight?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was, clearly, I'm of a darker skin tone. I'm not white. So as a child, the bullying that happens these days are nothing compared to what I went through as a child.
Absolutely.
And I had to prove myself to fight. So absolutely do I remember. It wasn't just one person. It was multiple persons. So I had to constantly prove myself as a child, and stick up for myself and my brothers.
I feel like it's one of those. I don't know if you don't have to tell me, but I still remember the name of the kid that I got in the fight. I still remember vividly, like just headbutting this kid because, like you said, he was picking on me, he's bullying me and my siblings, and I was like, my mother said, if you don't stand up for yourself, I'm going to send you to school in a dress tomorrow. And I was like, oh shit, like my mom, she kind of forced me. She said, look, if you don't stand up for yourself, these kids are going to keep bullying you, and I headbutted this kid. I watched a lot of wrestling and I didn't realize what they were doing was fake. And I mean, I was giving myself a concussion beating this kid, but it stopped.
Well, your mother's smart lady, okay, for doing that with you. And yeah, man. I mean, you never forget your first fights. It's not even one fight; it was multiple fights. So it's
Sure.
just like, and that was bare knuckle. We
Yeah.
didn't have gloves back then, right? So another reason why BKFC is on a trajectory that it is because everyone can actually relate to it because we've all gotten into a bare knuckle fight at some point in our childhood or our life.
I find it so weird. Like I was talking to Joy Boy, Justin Ibarola, and I said, "Do you remember the first time you were fighting?" And he said, "I never got in a fight. My first fight was an amateur fight in a boxing gym." So some of these people don't know, but I mean, like it's so crazy because I feel like most people got in a fight in elementary school.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that.
Okay, is there any message you have for anybody before we call it a night?
Well, no, I just, look, I just want to say, first, I want to say thank you for having me on. I want to thank, all the people that are listening to your podcast and supporting you. And, I just want to thank, first David Feldman, I mean, without him, I wouldn't have this opportunity. And of course, you know, the champs, Christine, Austin, Jules Gray, and everyone else at BKFC that, actually not just belief, because belief means doubt. I don't want you to believe in the Rasha. It's about experiencing it, and then let's see where we can go from there.
Okay, you were actually on the Reddit a couple months ago. You posted big news. Has the big news happened yet? Do you remember that?
Oh no.
Okay, so there's still
You
big
will,
news coming.
yes, you will know. You'll know when it comes out, and you'll be like, "Hey, all right, was that the big news?" And I'll let you know.
Okay, I wasn't sure, and I wanted to verify, but I want to thank you for being on there because, like, I mean, every fighter or supporter or sponsor like that comes on there. I mean, it means a lot. I feel like we have a very knowledgeable base of fans on there, and like I said, it means a lot knowing that you're a very smart, knowledgeable guy and you come on there. So,
Absolutely.
all right, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Gator.
Bye.